Thank you very much, Kaldor. Thank you very much, Kaldor and Wolf. Unfortunately, my MVP Black, they proved to be cheese resistant. Cheese proof.
I think Kaldor called it. MVP Black's reaction time was perfect. I mean, they got back exactly what they needed to do, and they were able to defend what was one of the most unique strategies you'll see in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, it's one that has been seen before, but not very common. The entire goal is literally just diving the keep as fast as you can and then threatening the core, but with how little pressure and how bad they got out-rotated in the early half of the game, it didn't even matter.
I knew what was going to happen, and I thought maybe MVP Black wouldn't react as quickly. But no, that is how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. And it's in theory really cool, but I guess MVP Black just actually understand this game really, really well.
Yeah, you don't even need to have like lightning reflexes there if you're a Korean. You got those with your when you were a baby, pretty much. Your parents gave them to you. For now, though, what Jehao is going to give to you is, of course, the first replay.
It's actually probably going to be the only replay. This game was over so quick you can see instantly. That's too many lines. We're going to see mYinsanity land there. They instantly go for the keep, and as soon as they do, we see the rotation back here. This was just all over the place. They instantly are going to dive core, but we see Rich, Mary Day, Sake, they're all in, and they instantly take down Artanis. He goes down, and that's when the beginning of the end. Sanctification a little bit too slow there, but at the same time, they probably wanted to wait for that encore, but you can see MVP recognizing it. They take down all of mYinsanity. This wasn't the first time that it happened, as it happened again in that ultimate base race. And you can see they all tried to dive. Blumby's still back here trying to put pressure on the core, but it was just way too quick of a rotation back by MVP to make that work.
Now, I got the chance to talk to a couple of pro players here at the venue. And they were all saying it's going to be very hard to take down MVP Black in a normal, regular draft. So I like the thought behind it. I mean, mYinsanity, they're with the back against the wall. Nobody expects them to win a game. So why not try something out of the ordinary, try something extremely ridiculous? But Dred, you have something to say about that.
I completely agree with you that I'm not trying to take away from what mYinsanity's approach to that and be innovative and everything they like, but they could not have chosen a worse map. I don't understand why deciding to go to Sky Temple for that map. You should choose a map where the map objective in the early half of the game, when you get 10 and you commit, you're wiping. You have accepted we are going to die in this situation. Why take the one where the map objective, number one, you can rotate around the map very easily and quickly, but the map objective is very deadly starting from the beginning of the game. Like, for instance, Garden of Terror, you're going to lose maybe a fort, and then they're going to be moving in. You have a decent amount of defense. There are a lot of other maps that I feel like complement that playstyle far better than Sky Temple. So I feel like mYinsanity, if you're going to have to cheese, you can't have any holes.
Right. For now, though, we're moving on to a different battleground. The battleground for game number 2 between MVP Black and mYinsanity is going to be Infernal Shrines. Not a map not necessarily known to allow cheese unless you are called mYinsanity, because we have seen stuff like Diablo every now and then. We have seen Kerrigan coming in from the Ventix, so there is room for innovation.
Yeah, we had Cho'Gall just yesterday.
And Cho'Gall.
I think that was just kind of a matter of like, well, this series probably isn't going to go the way that we want it to. Let's see what we can pull out in game number 2. But this map does lend to more of a fair fight in terms of playstyle. After what you just said, is it going to be an opportunity for them to pull out something different? But this time around, Sonya, once again, first ban.
I mean, this draft is very similar, or very common, I guess, so far. Nothing is surprising when it comes to the picks out of here. Kael'thas going over the mYinsanity. Now it looks like MVP Black's going to deny the Falstad.
It already looks like a more normal start on the side of Europe, so that's a nice start at least. But this is what I kind of was expecting in the first game. I wanted them to feel out what was going to be going on, and so for them to take that kind of approach in the first game was ambitious and bold, and
definitely.
That strategy used to be really hard to deal with. Until they changed the core, that strategy was almost unbeatable, minus the Zeratul and a mule. That was the only way. They go for your core, you just void it, and then you just mule everything up, and they can't win. But nowadays, that strategy is very hard to pull off. mYinsanity thought they had the answer, but the Rhaegar going to be picked up for MVP Black. mYinsanity now can go a couple of routes here. I think they're going to be worried. Actually, I'm maybe not worried about their tank. mYinsanity normally taking Diablo, if they really want it, this high into the draft. They know that MVP Black plays it. They were the team that really kind of made that a relevant strategy here. So it really, what tank they go, I think is going to be telling to their approach on this map.
And Zul, no doubt, is one of the stronger heroes on this map, so not a surprise. So that secures a lot of wave clear between Kael'thas and Zul, a lot of damage. And if MVP Black tries a little bit more aggressive approach, I think Zul lends to quite a bit of defense as well as Kael'thas. It's just a matter of, you talked about the fact that the Diablo pick. That could be something that they wait on to, but something they don't want to get banned out of is their comfort support pick, and that's Kerosene.
They're already in a rough spot for mYinsanity. Having the Zool, he's going to be on the side lane soaking during the shrines during the early half, but Falstad's going to be able to match him rather effectively, so he's not going to do too well. They do have Kill Thoughts to be effective on the shrine itself, and they need to make sure that they have a decent amount of poke there because they aren't going to win in the soak ward, which they're used to doing in this part.
I like what JR says about comfort picks, though, in general for mYinsanity. I
Right.
feel as much as, yes, they can try cheese, comfort picks are probably one of the more important aspects of this. Karazim, I think Splendor was like 13-0 on Karazim
Yeah.
in the last couple of games.
He was like 16 or 17. He finally lost the other day.
So it's definitely a comfort. Definitely a
And
comfort.
I mean, basically, they're testing their waters. The first game was, you know, a little bit of an experiment. The second one, as you pointed out, guys, is a little bit more of a comfort zone match. So if they lose this one as well, they might actually have to change their strategy again. But I definitely like the change of pace that mYinsanity is going
But
with.
that's the funny thing, if they do change strategy, it's Towers of Dooms. So
Dread, you were actually the one that showed me during the Spring Championship where MVP Black ran Diablo on this map, and we were talking about the strategy of that. That's something that mYinsanity has adopted. Is this an opportunity for MVP Black to possibly recreate some of that magic from Spring?
They've actually not shown it very much recently. I want to say that they won't do it, but they haven't been nearly as favoring it as they have been in the past. They would wait till it gets to the second ban phase, and then typically in this rotation, they'd end up looking to get it and then matching it with a Kerrigan in the back half. I don't know. I think they're going to play their game. I don't think they're going to make any adjustments unless they feel that it is the best pick in this area. Zool is going to be getting the split soak, and typically you want to be dominating the melees, and it's usually an answer to Sonya. She's going to spin on the shrine, you get the flip, you pin her against the wall, and since she's taken out, mYinsanity doesn't, or MVP doesn't really need to go that route. They go with
There
it.
it is.
I like it.
There it is.
Is it going to be a Kerrigan here, or are they going to wait?
imagine if it was a Lunara.
The master will remain the master in this case.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Lunara Kalaris. That's also something that Wolf once talked about. Korean teams, they don't feel comfortable when playing against Lunara. So she's definitely an option still to be taken later on for mYinsanity.
Greatman's fallen down a little bit in terms of the draft prioritization if it comes in here. I mean, previously, when MVP was running against E-Star, they were picking it up like first pick because they know that E-Star was so powerful with it. So not as much respect over on the other side. But likewise, mYinsanity didn't go for it anyway. There was other picks.
The thing about Greatman is it's all out assault. You really don't get a whole lot of value out of him other than he just kills people, and he does it really well. But you take a look at somebody like Falstad, Rhaegar, stuff like that. They prioritize the Mighty Gust, the mobility, the heals, stuff like that. So I can see where Greatman's falling a little bit back behind. So teams I feel might be playing a little bit safer and not as highly contested as Greatman, especially against a team like mYinsanity.
mYinsanity.
There it is.
Oh, they go for it.
Fully you time, boys. Although that being said, I mean, what other tank would they actually take? I mean, Arthas will be actually a choice, I would think, over it, but
Please no Murky.
It might be double tank. Could it be
No.
Stitches Arthas?
You mentioned Murky Dread. Is there a reason
no.
why?
get ready for the Lunara, my
Europe
friends.
has done the march. I hope it's going to be a Lunar. Europe, I don't think mYinsanity ran it, but there was a couple of teams during
Yeah,
the last
Fnatic, for
qualifier
instance, they
that
were known for
marched
doing
the
it.
Murloc to try and
Right.
zone off to the shrine with the Stitches on their team.
Dignitas was the team that was doing that back in tour. But yeah, I won't be surprised if it was Lunara as comfort pick, and Europe really likes, or from a little bit ago, really liked the Stitches Lunara. Unless they're going for something a bit more wild. I mean, even Darkmark on a Kerrigan, I wouldn't mind.
I would like something a bit more wild. I don't like if they play the Lunara sit back game into the Diablo and the amount of damage and disengage that they're going to have on the side of MVP, it just is not going to be nearly as effective.
I don't mind this pick at all. I mean, if they are able to capture one of the shrines with the objectives there, it does lend to a little bit of push. But you're looking at Zool and Sylvanas, and that makes it a little bit tough to engage in team fights. You have to rely a lot on Kael'thas's damage. So if he goes down, then where do you get your damage from?
Ooh, Tyrael. They don't necessarily have to go palm either. I mean, seven-sided strike with hook could become a thing, but
Sure, yeah.
it's not even like the thing is that a lot of that actually follows up for MVP Black, and we saw people try and attempt similar things as Stitches and against these kind of Asian teams, and MVP Black will probably follow up and help.
This is something that we've seen from time to time, especially if Diablo does opt to go Lightning Breath, just Sanctification right on top of him. But will we see the Apocalypse is the main question. It does offer a little bit of zoning, especially around the Shrine phase, so kind of curious to see how they're actually going to build that around the Heroics.
By the same token, though, we saw disastrous Lightning Breath yesterday, coming in from Bloomby, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So there's definitely choke points where the Lightning Breath gains a ton of value. By the same token, though, also you have to mention that Meriday will have a lot of weight on his shoulders because that cleanse against the Stitches hook, followed up by a Gravity Lapse from Kael'thas, and so on and so forth, will carry a lot of momentum.
but you have to execute it. That's why we saw ETC taken off the board. And Diablo, of course, there, he lends to a lot of that. So it's a matter of, can you execute it? And mYinsanity, they can't be shaken by anything. If you don't land one, try and land another. Again, the hook part, I'm not so much worried about as I am the gravity lapse into the big combo there, because that's where it's really gonna matter.
One thing I am worried about with mYinsanity's composition is I was talking about the rotations coming out from Zul onto the shrines, with the false stat being the one matching it. Since the last pickup for them was Sylvanas, she's another hero who can fill that role. But having Zul making those rotations means they have very little wave clear outside of the Kel'Thas on the shrine. If they send Sylvanas, Zul's going to be on it, but he's vulnerable to the Diablo.
All right, guys, it's time for prediction one more time. So, Jayhao, why don't you tell us who you think is going to win game number 2?
As much as I loved Artanis in that first game, I am going to have to go with the powerhouse that is MVP Black.
Yeah, they looked very strong, didn't they? Dread.
Again, MVP.
MVP?
It's a normal draft-ish. MVP Black.
And unfortunately, I just can't do it. I can't go with MY this time either. I'm just going to go with MVP Black. It's a 4-0, unfortunately, here coming in from the analysis desk, but maybe MY has what it takes to, you know, deliver a little bit of a fight and surprise us all. For now, though, the casters are going to take over one more time. Calder and Wolf, take it away, boys.
Welcome back, guys. mYinsanity went full EU with the Stitches pick there in that last one. And this is something that always concerns me. E-Star picked Stitches against Black on this map, and they lost the game in 8.5 minutes. There's a reason why in Korea we don't see Stitches picked very often.
But it's actually interesting because they ran this against MVP Black in scrims, and MVP Black told them that they have huge problems dealing with it and that they actually like it a lot and suggested for mYinsanity to use it against other Asian teams.
Well, let's go ahead and break down these teams and their players. Rich is on Greyman, Sake on Falstad, Merryday playing Rhaegar, Sign on Diablo, and Kyocha repping the Tyrael here.
And to the right side of the map, they crashed and burned in game number 1 when they were trying to go for a bit of a sneaky backdoor strategy. It is mYinsanity with Blumby on Stitches, Darkmog on Sylvanas, Hazorps on Kel'Thas, Nurag on Zul, and Splendor on Karazhan.
All right, here we go. The Stitches hooks. Always look out for him. They can get an early pick with the gravity lapse if they get that nice hook. And they're trying to get vision here.
Yeah, and of course, now that we're talking about the Stitches again, all of these teams have scrimmed against each other quite a bit, especially when we had the first group stage starting. And MVP Black said that they were really respecting that combo that mYinsanity runs with that Stitches hook plus the follow-up from Kel'Thas. It's something that they struggled with in their own scrims, and they actually said that they feel Tempest is going to have some problems with that too. So at this point, mYinsanity is going to try and emulate that a bit. Scrims are, of course, only a bit of a training environment that you have here. They have to prove it now in the tournament itself. And, of course, it's not going to be easy, especially after what we just saw in game number 1. And look at Darkmog, his first blood in the game. You just can't give them any opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, even Sylvanas, a hero that has an escape, is going to get caught by a 3-man rotation if the stuns are good. And Diablo, one of the easiest heroes in the game to take, to grab stuns with. They had ETC ban, Murden was taken away, but this is going to be the hero they're looking at to grab these early picks. And they need to get picks against the double specialist comp of both Sylvanas and Zul, otherwise they're just going to get out pushed. But with that pick, obviously you can see this lane pushed out half the ammo on these turrets. Meanwhile, mYinsanity counter pushing the bot lane against a solo Rhaegar. A smart choice, kind of evening out the trade here.
You raised a great point here. The push potential that we have for mYinsanity is very scary. So once that they start taking punishers, MVP Black could find themselves in a lot of trouble. But they have a very good presence for shrines with Sanctification later on, Fire Breath and Diablo. So there's a lot of tools that they're currently harvesting here that they can really use against mYinsanity. And they just continue with that aggressive style that we have seen in game number 1.
Look at the minimap. You can see mYinsanity rotates up to deal with this push way too late. Yes, the shrine is swine, so it's smart for them to rotate up, but they lost their entire wall for this, essentially. Yeah, they still have the second cannon up there, but it's out of ammo. The wall itself, the gate, is almost down. And MVP Black just sends everyone up right at the exact timing. This is important. Right at the exact timing the shrine goes active. Not before, right at the exact moment.
It was a good combo that we saw up at the top with the hook into the gravity labs, but the target was Diablo, and bursting him down is definitely not easy, especially if Rhaegar is around to drop that heal. Well done by MVP Black moving back there. We have the push rotation still with Zul currently busy in the middle of the map.
Yeah, it looks like Falstad is going to rotate down to help deal with Nurag in the mid lane, which is important. That means one man is missing, but oh, here we go. Rich is getting blown up here. He's going in to try to secure a kill, and he actually fails to do so. mYinsanity tying up the kills 1-1.
Yeah, mYinsanity going straight for it, and now, of course, they have to make up for that lead that we see for the Korean team. They already have 20 minion stacks for the Punisher. mYinsanity is starting to take the control on the Shrine, and Nurok is still waiting for the next wave to come in. They have the lead in experience right now.
And one thing I want to note with the composition that we have here for Black is because Kyocha is on tier, he's not going to be playing Falsta, which relegates Rich into playing Greymane. Now, Rich is an excellent melee assassin player, but Greymane not entirely his best hero, I'd say, by any means. We're going to see another fight here, it looks like.
Yeah, very close now. They need 5 more minions, but Hazop's in trouble. Great gravity labs. Is he going to be able to escape? He just moves back in time. 5 more minions is all that mYinsanity needs for Punisher number 1. Sign is low. Sign is dead. Diablo down, and everybody on the side of MVP Black is now moving back.
Kyocha is on the retreat here. Can he get out? 180 hit points. There's the Aldruins. Blooming not able to secure the kill, but they will secure this first Punisher, and a massive lead here already for mYinsanity. These team fights are going their way in the early game, and I feel like it's kind of falling on Rich. His lack of experience on Greymane in tournament play is kind of messing with him here a little bit.
mYinsanity, they have to take advantage of this situation. They have Sylvanas, they have Zul, they need to capitalize on it. Zul making the rotation, mid lane, bot lane, clearing the wave. Up at the top, paralysis is used. Once again, the kill potential. They go for Meriday. He is down. mYinsanity in a 5 versus 4 on the map right now. The fight to the top with 4 versus 3. The Punisher still on nearly full health, and they're going for Kyocha.
And don't forget, they have Sylvanas with this push, so they're not really fighting underneath the keep. They're fighting just on even ground here with a Punisher. And not only any Punisher, an Arcane Punisher, so even standing near this fort is dangerous for MVP Black. They need to let this go. They do back off. They have Falstad soaking the bot lane this entire time. They're closing in on level 7. At least they'll get here the even talent tier.
mYinsanity is going deep, trying to give the Koreans a taste of their own medicine. The rotation into the mid lane, immediate. They took the fort at the top, they take the wall in the middle, and mYinsanity now still 1.5 levels ahead roughly. With the Koreans though, closing in, they have level 7, they have the talent, so they can go for fights again.
This is a way to beat a Korean team, is to get the early advantage and force moves like, okay, he has to be in the bot lane. You know, we've got to have Sokka in the bot lane. He has to be out of the fight. Then you just keep fighting them. And when you're fighting, when you force this against a normal team composition, you can't actually go into the fort because otherwise you're going to have an advantage, even with Falstad in the bot lane. But when you have Sylvanas on your team and you have Zul, you have this hardcore push. The fort is irrelevant, and you just keep pushing. You keep taking that 5v4 fight.
You are absolutely right. mYinsanity, on the other hand, they are trying to snowball this. They're trying to go to an early 10 so that they can get the next Punisher too. If they continue to get the objective, they will have immense control over the map. The problem against MVP Black, you make only one mistake, a tiny mistake, one hero out of position in a fight, and they will punish you, and they will punish you hard. mYinsanity is not allowed to make any mistakes in this game.
No, absolutely not. But I feel like the same is true of MVP Black. They're not used to playing from behind. Jokes aside, seriously. I'm not even messing around here. They're not used to playing from behind, and they will have to do it in this game here. And they're going to have to take this next fight or give it up, make a quick decision on what they're going to do for this next Punisher, because they will not have their heroics when mYinsanity does.
Yeah, mYinsanity playing it safe, but now they want the 10 and they're going to get it. It's going to be a very important talent for them, but it looks like MVP Black is working hard to make sure that at least for the next Shrine fight, they're able to rely on their heroics as well.
Yeah. All right, here we come. Wailing Arrow, a very, very powerful tool in these fights. And we do see Palm come out for Splendor, one of the best Kharazim players in the world. Not going to be going for isolation kills. They don't have much isolation besides the hook, so just a little bit of a safer play here, probably to keep Kael'thas alive in those sticky situations.
Kharazim's, like Splendor's Kharazim Palms have been out of this world. Blumby already going in. Saka, the hook interrupting the fly. They're going for him. The Phoenix drop, and down goes Falstad. mYinsanity on level 10. They take the kill. It's 4 versus 1. The Shrine is active. And they don't care. Yeah. They go for the fort.
They're just going to ignore it. They're going to deactivate this fort again. Double specialist. Sylvanas deactivating this fort means Black just has to sit here and take it. There's nothing they can do to defend.
Top lane. Big push in there as well. The camp taken earlier is pushing through for mYinsanity. MVP is trying to fight here. They're trying to save the fort. The 10 is not there for them just yet. But Blumby is lone. They have to retreat. Falstad, on the other hand, he has to take care of the push, but another tower falls, Wolf.
Yeah, and don't forget that Falstad can fly from this position to the Shrine right after he gets this. He's also going to help secure 10. We do see the Lightning Breath coming out of Diablo, so it is going to be for that extra AoE damage. They have Sanctification now as well to keep Rich alive in the front lines. And this next fight is not a fight that mYinsanity wins by free. And here comes Sake. He does have his Gust now.
They're jumping in. Lightning Breath already used. Hazorps is down. The choice that mYinsanity made was maybe the wrong one, but the Poison Nova is amazing. So much damage dished out. Falstad nearly down. They retreat. But mYinsanity, they killed Falstad earlier. They made the choice to not go for the Shrine. They wanted to push. They got a lot of value out of it. But now they have to fight on even talents, and they are one hero down.
A brave choice to actually send Kyocha back for health, just so that he comes in, he's going to be a little bit healthier for the next fight, because they did get that pick earlier. It's going to be a 4v4 here. Go for the throat is still online here, so if there's an overextension, Kael'thas could be in danger here. That's why, he's actually going back for health. He's now rejoining the rest of his team. Kyocha is here now, and we're going to see yet another fight. Looks like mYinsanity, despite the 2-level lead, is just going to have to let this one go.
They have to let it go. They're looking for a chance to maybe land a hook here. Here comes Blumby. He's trying, but he's missing. And we have the Mortar Punisher moving in. Barb Shot, really important talent here. He can, of course, dish out the extra damage. They want to burn the Punisher down. Nurok is already the bot lane. He's trying to get value. They bait it in. That's what they have to do. It's only the second one. Sign is waiting for a chance here. Phoenix is down as well. The defense so far looking strong.
Yeah, but you'll notice right away that without Sylvanas, it's a lot tougher to capitalize on these Punishers. So this Punisher most likely not going to do a massive amount of damage. Gust is still available. That's the one way they can disengage if they do want to do a big-time commitment like this. Rich is up on the front lines.
They're going for Nurok. They're trying to take him down. Here comes the Sanctification, and immediately the kill against Stitches. The Lightning Breath so strong. Great gust coming out of Sake in this case. They want, therefore they're going for it, but Rich is once again super low and is barely able to jump out here, Wolf.
Yeah, just barely getting out of there. But again, mYinsanity still ahead, not only in the EXP, but also the structures. They saved that fort. And yeah, they did lose a kill for it, but they saved the fort. They're playing very, very solid here. And MVP Black is going to have several more moments like that. And it's much harder for them to capitalize on these Punishers because of the lack of Sylvanas. I want to keep going back to this because every time they lose a Punisher, mYinsanity gets further and further ahead. So they have to kind of consistently be denying these Punishers by getting these picks.
You can absolutely not be stressed enough that Sylvanas is really just a game-winning factor here. And you were totally right. MVP Black, they are now in a very different game than game number one. mYinsanity is playing a very solid strategy. The idea is, of course, to try now to get the lead in talents again, maybe for the next Shrine. They're going to keep looking for these isolation kills. They want to land the hook. It's an amazing tool for them. And MVP Black, they know that too. If they can keep their backline safe, that's exactly what has to happen here. If Greymane gets isolated, if Falster gets isolated, then MVP Black is going to have a huge problem. Right now, they're aiming for 13. They want to have the even talents again.
Yeah. I want to point out, of course, one of the coolest things we've seen in this tournament, one of the big power spikes for Sylvanas is when she gets her Windrunner on level 13, because you can actually do crazy moves with her. You can secure more kills. And if they get just one pick with her Windrunner by going in a little bit deeper and being able to escape, then that actually could win them a Punisher.
Especially the Chinese teams have shown some amazing Sylvanas play this tournament. It was absolutely beautiful to witness this. Now, on the other hand, the push in the mid lane. The Korean team is pressing for the fort, and they get it. Here comes that hook against Diablo. They can't burn him down, though, even with the Giant's Curse that was picked up by Gazul now. Extra damage, of course, but it was not enough to really threaten the tank.
Yeah, we very rarely see people take Vision Bomb at 13 as well, but we're actually seeing that this game, and I think it's just almost a respect pick versus how well MVP Black splits against the chain bombs.
I really like it also for the later stage of the game. mYinsanity is already expecting this to go to 20, and once that we have that 20 talent in with the Master of Flames, you can really just heavily rely on those Shrine fights. And once that happens, you can dominate those Punisher fights a bit more. The damage is good. They're trying to go once again for Tyrael. Nice damage coming out of here. Bone Prison as well. Kyoja has to move back, and mYinsanity has a bit of momentum going for them up at the top lane now.
All right, it looks like we do see Falstaff rotating up Sake. Could come in for a gust, but this pressure that they have with the Shaman camp in the top lane makes it so difficult for MVP Black to engage. And I think mYinsanity should be capitalized on this moment. Yeah, they're going to grab as many skeletons as they can to get an early lead. And if they get a pick here, they will get the Shrine. And we'll be in perfect position for a hook.
Nurok, Bone Prison gets attacked using Shade, maybe a bit early. Here, oh, big blunder for MVP Black, going for the Lightning Breath, and then there comes the Gust and pushes everybody away. A lot of damage potential was lost here.
Yeah, and they really didn't need to do that. They also had Sanctification available. They could have sat underneath that fight with the Sanctification and used the Gust for later. But as it is now, Wailing Arrow still up for mYinsanity. It's going to be a lot easier for them to take this fight now, and they're very healthy.
Blumby with the attempts to go for a hook. He gets isolated. At the same time, Sang dropped in the backline. Poison over is through. The Koreans moving back again. Here comes mYinsanity. They go for Kyoja. They take him down. He's down. That's a 5 versus 4.
And guess what? That's another Punisher.
Easy.
That's another Punisher in the top lane. And this might be a keep here with this early kill on Tyrael. Just some misused heroics for MVP Black meant they couldn't take that fight, and that Wailing Harrow basically hit everybody of MVP Black, and that turned the fight so quickly.
Very untypical to see such a blunder with heroic abilities. Usually the Koreans are the shining example of how to stack those together. It didn't work this time, and mYinsanity, they capitalized on it. I really like how they immediately said, like, boys, we are in a perfect spot. Don't rush in, play it safe, wait for the hook. Let's try to land that first. If it misses, we still have the chance. They went in, they took down Kyoja on his Tyrael. Now they go in a 5 versus 5, but here comes that Sylvanas value once again.
Yeah, it's so powerful here. This keep is deactivated, and Lightning Blood is on offline for 50 more seconds here, so they're not going to be able to use that to defend anytime soon. And if mYinsanity gets a pick, they could go to end the game here. They do have their level 16 talents now, and that's, again, a huge power spike for Sylvanas' damage.
mYinsanity, they retreat. It's one of the key aspects of this team that they are so patient when they have to be. And they're just looking at this, saying, guys, against any other team, maybe we can go in. Against these guys, don't make that mistake. You are going to be punished. Look again, they are moving back here. Was it a bit too late maybe even? Falstad flew in, was trying to look for a Gust here. MVP is trying to punish them, but there comes the hook against Rhaegar. Mighty Gust, great position for Starke. They have to take the fight, but the Poison Nova is there, and immediately already they ult on Tyrael.
Moswab's taking a lot of damage, but a huge Wailing Arrow hits 3. Again, Sake not doing any damage here. He's just kiting back, and already this is a kill on Diablo.
Merry Day nearly dying too, but somehow he still survived. Rhaegar gets killed. What a hook by Blumby. Oh my god.
Rich.
What a hook, and Rich gets blown to pieces as well.
This is a huge lead here for mYinsanity. They take a level lead once again, and with all these kills, again, the power of Sylvanas, they can keep pushing this.
The European team, they're smelling blood in the water now. This is a very different game from game number 1. The fort in the mid lane is down. The keep at the top is destroyed. They move through the middle. They want more. There's still 10 seconds. 20 on Greymane, and mYinsanity is trying to kill keep number 2.
Oh, there's another hook on Kyoja. He does get stuck here. He Eldrune's away. Lightning Breath going down. A lot of value. Here comes Sake. They're trying to punish this, but already Diablo is dead, and this time he doesn't have his souls.
He does not have the souls, Wolf. You're totally right, and that is 30 seconds. mYinsanity, they even moved back here. They're saying, boys, let's go back. Look how low they are on mana. It's really the mana in this case. They're looking at it, and they want the keep. They know they might be able to get it, but do you risk it?
I think no, not in this case. And you could even see Sylvanas considering going down to secure this bot keep with the minion wave that's there, but it looks like it's just not even necessary. They're going to back off. They don't need that extra 40 XP, and it's going to be valuable later on as well.
And we have a replay, of course, immediately. Just look at this fight. The beautiful Gust, but here comes the Poison Nova. Pay attention to Rhaegar. Rhaegar actually is going to get a huge amount of damage put on him and is moving back, but Blumby is getting that kill later on. First of all, it's Sign dying. Here comes Rhaegar. He just barely gets away, and Blumby is going to look for that hook. There we go, and he takes him down with that. That was amazing play and anticipation on his part.
Absolutely great Stitches play. And, you know, myself, as a commentator, and I live in Korea, I commentate this team all the time, I'm always very wary of the Stitches pick, but today, they prove that they can win a tournament potentially with it.
Now let's take a step back here for a moment. It's still even talents. It's 16 versus 16. mYinsanity, they are definitely dictating the pace of the game right now, but those Koreans, they are not going to give up. And again, one mistake,
oh, there's
all that they need, they go for it again. The kill, no, it's not the kill.
2 heroics wasted though, 2 heroics wasted, Sanctification and Gust.
Sanctification and Gust are down, and that might give mYinsanity the chance to go for that temple, for that shrine, for that Punisher. And Wolf, if they get the mid lane Punisher, that keep is gonna fall.
Absolutely. Still looking for the hooks. Bloomby very aggressive with this. He's coming in now into the front lines. Darkmok does get caught here by Sign.
Blender's ready for the palm. Ancestral is out. Where's the palm? The palm on Darkmok. He's saving it. He's actually saving it. They go for Kyoja, and again Tyrael is dying.
That would have been a perfect fight if they had Sanctification, but it was wasted earlier, and this is already a kill here for mYinsanity, and this is probably going to be the Punisher. Nice attempted hook here by Bloomby, trying to anticipate. Darkmok palms himself. Diablo is dead. There's the palm.
Yeah, great palm gets triggered. Greymane down, Zul fall as well. Both of the tanks are gone. And Wolf, look at those minion stacks. 34 to 38. The Koreans were trying so hard, but it is
Meriday! Too greedy! And he gets caught! And that might be game! That might be game! Look at the top lane!
The European team, they go for it. Top lane is being pushed. The Punisher is coming in. They were trying to wait. Even stacks another hook by Blumby. He has a magnet attached to that thing. Those Blumby hooks today are out of this world.
All right, they're going to commit to this. It looks like they're all pushing here. The Punisher's coming down as well. I don't see any way MVP Black can defend this. They're starting to respawn here, but they're not ready yet.
And once again, here we go. Immediately, the old use. Sanct is there, and we have mYinsanity going for core. The Punisher is not even there just yet. They're trying. They're dropping it to 40. They want their victory. 2 heroes down, but it looks like the Europeans
they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. The Punisher's here.
Punisher jumps back. It's baited, but this has to begin. It has to begin. It is game. Series inside mYinsanity. They come back, and they come back with a vengeance.
MVP Black said the thing that shook them the most in this tournament was when they lost a game to eStar. It was the first game they lost in the tournament. And look at this, mYinsanity wins this second game. It's definitely going to get into their heads. And they lost with a cheese strat, but they won with straight up normal meta play. And that is terrifying for a Korean team that's not used to playing from behind, not used to being tied in a series.
MVP was shaken. You could see it on their faces. They didn't expect this, especially after the first map. The first map was something where they looked at it, was like, what just happened? We took your keep 6 minutes in, we defeated you without any problems whatsoever, and then game number 2. What a comeback by mYinsanity.
Way better team fighting, forced fights, great hooks there. But before we get too deep on it, let's throw it over to the desk to see what the panelists have to say.